Imagine driving on a silent American highway when suddenly you see a woman in a torn evening dress, alone, terrified, and looking at you like you're her last chance to survive. Most people would speed up, but that night, I hit the brakes, and it changed everything. My name is Aaron Blake, a single father raising my 8-year-old son, Noah, in a quiet town outside Portland, Oregon. Life wasn't glamorous, just long shifts, dusty boots, and a kid who thought pancakes could fix anything. Welcome back to my channel, Classic Stories. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Now, let's dive into the story. That night, after finishing a late construction job, I was driving home through a cold, empty stretch of highway. The only sound was my old Ford's engine rumbling, Noah sleeping softly in the back seat. Then I saw her, a woman walking alone on the roadside, her deep red gown torn, her hair messy, like she'd run miles, her eyes filled with fear, as if she was escaping something she couldn't even say out loud. It didn't look right. It didn't feel right. I slowed down. She lifted her head. Our eyes met, and in that split second, I knew she needed help. I rolled down the window. "You okay?" I asked. She hesitated, voice trembling. "Please, I just need to get away from here. I can't go back." That fear, raw and shaking, made my heart tighten. I unlocked the door. "Get in." She climbed into the passenger seat, clutching her dress like it was the only thing holding her together. Noah slept through it all, curled up with his little dinosaur blanket. "I'm Aaron," I said softly. After a long pause, she whispered, "Liliana." No last name, no explanation. But I could feel it. She was running from something big. The silence grew heavier. Her hands trembled against her knees. Every time a car passed, she flinched, eyes darting back to the road. Finally, she said in a soft, breaking voice, "I walked out of a life people dream of, a life full of money, power, but no love." She laughed, short and bitter. "I was supposed to be engaged tonight, to a man who only wanted me because I was convenient." I didn't say anything. She continued, barely above a whisper, "He doesn't love me. He never did. But he's not the type of man who lets things go." My hands tightened around the steering wheel. Whoever she was running from was dangerous. I brought her home, not because it was safe, but because leaving her alone felt wrong. My house wasn't much. Small, warm lights, tools scattered on the porch, but she looked at it like it was the first safe place she'd seen in years. Noah woke up and peeked at her. "Dad, is she a princess?" He pointed at her gown. For the first time, Liliana smiled. "If he thinks so, let's not break the magic," she whispered. From that night, everything changed. Days passed and trouble found us. The next morning, her face was everywhere. Missing heiress. Runaway fiancé of tech billionaire. Liliana Hart vanished after high-profile engagement party. I understood now. She wasn't hiding from a man. She was hiding from an entire empire. Reporters parked outside the street. Dark SUVs circled the block. Strangers knocked, asking questions. But I stood in front of her every time. I didn't know her well, but I knew fear when I saw it. At night, she'd sit at my kitchen table with a cup of tea, staring at her reflection like she didn't recognize herself. I'd cook. She'd tease my terrible seasoning. I'd pretend to be offended and she'd laugh. Actually laugh. There was something about her laugh. It felt like sunshine peeking through a storm. One evening, Noah sat between us, eating spaghetti like it was the greatest invention on earth. Liliana watched him, watched me, and whispered, "You two feel like home." Her words hit deeper than I expected, because I felt it too. The flirting began without warning. One night, she leaned close while helping me fix a loose cabinet. Her perfume, warm and sweet, wrapped around me. "You really don't have to protect me," she said softly. "I'm not protecting you," I replied. She arched a brow, teasing. "Oh, then what are you doing?" I swallowed. Maybe keeping someone safe feels good again. Her cheeks flushed. She smiled like she hadn't smiled in years. But danger wasn't done with us. Late one night, A black SUV stopped outside my house. Liliana's breath caught. "It's him," she whispered. I stood between her and the door. A man stepped out, sharp suit, colder eyes. "Mr. Blake," he said calmly, "you have something that belongs to me." "She doesn't belong to anyone." My voice was steady, though my heart thundered. His jaw tightened. "You're making a mistake." Maybe I was, but I wasn't backing down. Liliana stepped beside me, trembling but brave. "No, you made a mistake," she said. "You can't control me anymore." For a moment, the billionaire stared at her, rage boiling behind his eyes. Then he turned and left without another word. The SUV disappeared, and with it, the shadow over her life began to fade. A week later, Liliana decided to speak out publicly on her own terms. Not as a fiancée, not as an heiress, but as a woman choosing freedom. And through it all, I stood with her. That night, after Noah fell asleep, we stood on the porch watching the quiet Oregon sky. She turned to me, eyes soft. "Aaron, you changed my life." I smiled. "You changed mine first." She stepped closer, close enough to feel her breath, close enough to erase every distance between us. "Can I stay?" she whispered. I touched her hand gently. "Stay," I said, "for as long as you want." She leaned her forehead to mine, and in that warm silence we both knew sometimes love doesn't arrive softly. Sometimes it shows up on a dark highway wearing a torn red dress, begging for a ride, and ending up becoming your whole future.